Hi there, I'm David from DB Chartered Accountants. I suppose it's human nature to put off doing things. Doing your bookkeeping and tax returns are good examples of what people given the choice would prefer to do much later. Even where their accountants have been asking for the information that they need for many months, some still leave it to the very last moment to provide what is needed, and do so only when compelled as a result of wanting to avoid being hit by penalties. Please see our video called Avoid Penalties and Interest to discover the significant array of penalties that HMRC have in their armoury should anyone miss one of their deadlines and are, as a consequence, late. In the not too distant future, Making Tax Digital will arrive. Information will then have to be submitted quarterly to HMRC, and the option to do 12 months bookkeeping in one go late in January, the last month of the submission period, will become a luxury of the past that will thankfully disappear. Business owners will then have no choice but to do their bookkeeping on a regular basis. There are, however, very good reasons why doing bookkeeping and tax returns so late is a really bad idea. As I explained in my video, be kind to your accountants at Christmas. Waiting until the last moment before providing the information to accountants puts them under undue pressure. Having wasted over 9 months, during which time the information could have and should have been provided, it's then provided late within days of the deadline. This provides their accountant with very little leeway to try and help them, even though it's their natural inclination to want to do so. What's got to be borne in mind is that it is not likely to be just one person leaving it so late. If you multiply the problems caused by many people being late, then it's easy to realise that they are posing the accountants with an impossible task. There are simply not enough man hours available for them to get through the backlog of work needed to get all the tax returns done. It's for this reason that accountants have little option but to impose earlier deadlines on their clients. They ask them to provide the information by a certain date, say the 31st of December at the very latest. If they provide the information by this date, the accountant has a sporting chance to try and meet the deadlines for them. The reality is that it is not the official deadline of the 31st of January that needs to be heeded. It is the date well before then that provides sufficient time for the accountant to meet that deadline, which, if you think about it, has inevitably to be several weeks before the final date. Accountants are thus left with no alternative but to inform the tardy clients that it is unlikely that the accounts or tax returns can be done before the deadline if they exceed the cut-off date, and thus regrettably penalties are likely to be incurred. No doubt some clients will bristle at this, but they have to ask, whose fault is this anyway? When records are brought in late, the only way that the deadline can be met is to bring those late accounts to the front of what could be a very long queue that good accountants inevitably usually have at all times. And in doing so, the late clients have displaced the considerate clients who have brought their records in early, thereby unfairly delaying the preparation of their accounts. This undeserved priority treatment is not enough sometimes, and overtime has to be resorted to, which obviously costs more to provide the additional time that is needed. There is no wonder why some accountants charge a premium on top of the normal fees to cover these additional costs. The better accountants naturally gain more and more clients as they approach their capacity, or what they consider to be the optimum size for their business. Their business mentors recommend that they should cull their clients and ask those who cause the most difficulties to move their custom elsewhere. Should an accountant decide to do this, it's likely to be the clients who are perpetually late, who cost them more in chase-up time, thereby driving the work to be uneconomic for them, that stand the greatest chance of meeting the cut of the clients that are to be retained. By producing tax return information late, or more particularly bookkeeping needed for the accounts late, business owners deprive themselves of a key advantage, the benefit of hindsight. When things are done at the last moment, in a rush, then there is no time to reflect upon the situation. It also removes the opportunity to investigate key areas further, and instead they have to resort to guesses or estimates, leaving greater scope for the errors or omissions to be made. Thus, the quality of the information submitted to HMRC has the potential to be less than it could have been or should have been. This leaves latecomers more vulnerable to penalties should they be chosen for an enquiry. Don't get me wrong, I realise that anyone can be late in submitting tax return information because of valid reasons, such as illness, for example. Though from HMRC's point of view, you have to bear in mind that there have been the best part of 10 months to do what is necessary, and most people can't say that they've been ill all of that time. However, if you are constantly submitting your tax returns at the 11th hour each year, you are sending a clear message to HMRC. You are unwittingly telling them that you are not very good at doing your bookkeeping or arranging your commitments efficiently. They will have reason to surmise that things will have been done in a rush and thus of a lower quality than it should be. It thus labels such a person or business as a good candidate for an enquiry, which almost certainly would cost heavily in terms of both time and money. Should the enquiry reveal any of the shortcomings in the information submitted, and the chances are that there is a greater scope for this, as explained earlier, then HMRC can and will impose penalties that could be as much as 100% of the tax that's due. It's doubtful that you could mitigate the amount of these penalties by arguing that they were innocent errors. HMRC would rightly conclude that you have been negligent for providing information so late to your accountant at a time when they are already under significant pressure. Any penalties imposed are thus likely to be higher than they should be. Being late with tax returns or leaving it until the 11th hour before submitting bookkeeping can prove expensive. It pays to sort out your affairs and deal with your commitments earlier rather than later. If we can help you at all, please contact us at help@db-accountants.co.uk or call us on 01226 24 5824. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive notifications whenever we upload new videos. Thank you for watching this video. Bye for now.